Now, the Senate started their confirmation hearings this morning. All the senators were doing their opening remarks. Questioning will probably start tomorrow. The President said, Democrats on the Judiciary Committee need to give Judge Barrett a respectful and dignified hearing this time. But we have reason to be concerned. You all remember the attacks on Judge Barrett's faith when she was confirmed to the Court of Appeals just 2 years ago. Democrats and their Hollywood friends have already started to attack Judge Amy Coney Barrett's Christian faith as well, this time around. You know, back then, one Democrat questioned her qualifications because he called her, quote, an Orthodox Catholic. Joe Biden's running mate, Kamala Harris, actually attacked another one of our nominees to the federal courts because he was a member of the Catholic Knights of Columbus. And the ranking Democrat on the Judiciary Committee said Judge Barrett's Catholic faith was of concern and said, quote, the dogma lives loudly within you. Well, I got news for the Democrats and their friends in Hollywood. That dogma lives loudly in me. That dogma lives loudly in you. And the right to live, to work, to worship according to the dictates of our faith and conscience lives in the Constitution of the United States of America. These attacks on religious faith must stop, and they must stop now. Now, the Senate has a job to do. And after they discharge their duty to advise and consent, I'll make a prediction. Judge Amy Coney Barrett will be Justice Amy Coney Barrett. We're going to fill that seat. Speaking of the Supreme Court, the American people also deserve to know that Democrats are actually talking about adding seats to the Supreme Court. It's called packing the court if they win this election. It would be nothing less than the biggest power grab in American history. They want to pack the court with liberal judges. They want to tear down more than a century and a half of judicial independence in this country. After 150 years, with 9 seats on the Supreme Court of the United States, Democrats in Washington are talking about packing the court. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won't tell the American people what they're going to do. Joe Biden refused to answer the question during the presidential debate. You might have seen Kamala Harris refuse to answer the question when I posed it to her during the vice presidential debate. And last Friday, Joe Biden was asked if voters deserved to know if he plans to pack the court, and Joe Biden said, quote, no, they don't. Well, Joe, yes, they do. The American people deserve a straight answer, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris need to come clean with the American people and come clean right now. When you're running for the highest court in the land, the American people deserve to know whether you're going to respect the highest court in the land. You know, the truth is there's only one explanation why they won't answer the question. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris want to pack the Supreme Court. But we're not going to let it happen. We're going to re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years in the White House. And we're going to preserve an independent judiciary for generations to come. So we've stood for the rule of law and an independent judiciary. And every single day, President Donald Trump has stood with the men and women who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement, and we always will. Let's hear it for all those in law enforcement who are with us here today. You know, I like to say all my heroes wear uniforms. Whether it's those of you who've worn the uniform of the United States or those of you who put on the uniform of law enforcement. I have to tell you, since I was a little boy, we'd go up to Chicago, we'd visit my grandparents, and we were there with my uncle, who was a Chicago police officer for 25 years. He'd come out in the morning, dressed in that uniform, sidearm, strapped to his belt. Me and my three brothers had just looked at him in awe. I think you all know. The men and women who serve in law enforcement in this country are the best people in America, and they deserve the respect of every American every day. Thank you for your service. Now, President Trump and I will always support the right of Americans to peaceful protest. But rioting and looting is not peaceful protest. Burning businesses is not free speech. Violence against innocent civilians, the destruction of property, or violence against law enforcement will not be tolerated, and those who do these things will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.